Here after I did a tiramisu last time and I got lots of good feedback, so thank you to all of you. And so I've been asked do something more, so here I am deciding to make a dish that I think I know pretty well, and is a dish with eggplants called Eggplant Parmigiana. Okay. First of all, do you remember that perennial question that says, what does come first? The chicken or the egg? The egg or the chicken? Which one comes first? Well, have you ever heard about a chicken plant? No. Chicken plant? No. That means the eggplants come first. Eggplants Parmigiana. We call it eggplants Parmigiana because we use the Parmesan cheese, which is a cheese from Parma. So those two are the main ingredients. Now the original recipe calls for eggplants that is deep fried, so it tends to be a behavior. There is a newer version that is a bit more light. Okay, so we're not going to deep fry the eggplants, but we're going to put it in the oven. So the ingredients, we got eggplants, Parmesan cheese that is already grated. We have a mozzarella cheese that we're going to cut it later. And then we have some tomato. So tomato, you just canned tomato. And when you open the can, I always get the one with the whole tomato. But what I'll do is I put this in the blender for like 10 seconds. Okay, so this one breaks through and becomes like this. Et voila! So we're gonna use this one, which is the same, but this has 10 seconds blended. All right, we have oregano, dry oregano. We have salt, and we have pepper. This is from my garden. This is rosemary with the flowers. I like the flowers as well. Garlic, olive oil, a bit of basil, which I just got yesterday just for you. But before we cut the eggplants, we are going to turn the oven on, so it's going to be nice and hot. So we go to the oven and we're going to go on bake, and 350, let's say 400. Okay, I'll cut it 400. Let's cut the eggplants. So what I heard is that we cut the edge 1 and 2, and if we cut the eggplants lengthwise, they are actually not going to be bitter. If we cut them like this, then we have to put it, under salt for a few hours, for an hour, half an hour, to take the bitterness out. But if we cut them lengthwise, it's not going to happen. So we'll cut the first one here like this out. We are going now to get the cooking sheet, or let's call it eggplant sheet. Just gonna lay them over here, and then we'll put them in the oven. So what we're gonna do now, we take a little bowl, this one, and I use tons of olive oil, okay, extra virgin olive oil. So I put lots of olive oil, but it's not gonna be deep fried, so tendentially is healthier. So we get this one. So in here we can start to put olive oil and a little bit of oregano, pinch of salt, and a pinch of pepper. Okay, and we mix this olive oil like this, and now those are ready just for the oven. Okay, or maybe actually, since we have, I just mentioned I got some rosemary, we can get some. It's slightly drier is better. I heard that if it's dried, it's less bitter when it cooks. And I took them this 2 days ago, so it's not completely fresh, but it's not completely dry either. I guess it doesn't matter. Cut a little bit like that with the flowers, because it's the season of flowers. And rosemary flower, just put them like this a little bit, just to give some fragrance. Okay, and we're gonna put it in the oven now. And what I'll put it is on bake 400, and I'll put it kind of in the middle, right there. On the bottom middle, not too low, not too high. While we are waiting for the eggplants in the oven, we're gonna cook a little bit the tomato, because when it comes, they come out from the can, there is a quantity of water that if we keep it, then at the end of the eggplants parmigiana it can get a bit watery, so we don't want that. So what we're gonna cook a little bit, and we may as well get some garlic in it as well to give some flavor. So we can just cut like that without even cutting it. Just crush it like that and take the skin out, and that's all we're gonna use. So once again, olive oil, just go on the frying pan. We can just come over here. Let it sizzle a little bit, and then we put the tomato. So they all get nice flavor of the garlic a little bit. And then we can start to turn this a bit down, otherwise we're going to burn. Now it's going to have a splash. Ready? It's going to make a mess. It's not that bad. Okay, we'll turn it up again. When the oil is hot, you put water in and it's making a splash. Okay, let's cook it a little bit like this, so just to evaporate the water and get some flavor from the garlic. While the tomato is going, the eggplants is in the oven. Whoa, look at that mozzarella cheese. Fresh. We'll just cut it a little bit in pieces, small, very thin. So you see how now I start to get reduced more and more. You see, it's more less watery. reduce, you know. So at this point we can go low, and now we can put some oregano, dry oregano, a pinch of salt that we didn't put before. We just put it on the eggplant and on the tomato, and a pinch of pepper. And then since it's almost done, we can put a little bit of fresh basil at the end. And I'm gonna give a rinse. There you are. Just try it out. Looks good. And it smells good. Oh my goodness. And just let it sit there for a little bit. It looks so good I don't want to even touch and soak the leaves of basil. It's almost half an hour, 5 more minutes, the eggplants, and so we'll wait. Half an hour now since we put the eggplants in, so we're gonna look at them, and it seems like they're good. Turn it off. Now just be careful because this is a gas oven. Okay, so half an hour, 400 degrees gas oven. The electric oven may behave differently, so start 20 and then keep looking. You may need more or less, it depends. I bet probably a bit more, but this is the result that you would like to see on the eggplants. Okay. So that's the way it comes out, cooked through. And if we turn one, you'll see how on the other side is brown, right? Look at this beauty. See, that's the bottom. So that's the way it turned out. I like a bit mushy because eggplants, you know, it should melt in your mouth. Right, now, we'll let them sit here for a little bit to cool a little bit because they are very hot right now. We turn off also the tomato. So now we have to assemble everything together. Eggplant cheese, tomato, 2 cheese, Parmesan cheese because it's called Parmigiana from Parma, cheese from Parma, Parmigiano, right here, the real McCoy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a layer upon a layer. It's like kind of a lasagna, I would say. No, you know the lasagna that has pasta one on top of the other one with tomato in between. Well, it's about the same thing, but instead of the pasta, you got the eggplants. So on the bottom, I will start to put already a little bit of tomato, like that. If you want, you can keep the garlic in. I just saw a piece going in, or you can take it out if you don't want to have all junk piece of garlic in. As you remember, we didn't chop it very thin, we just left the piece crushed. I like garlic, so I leave it in. Okay, now we're gonna do other layers. I'm gonna put one layer like this and the other layer. away. You should smell what I'm smelling. The fragrance that comes out from these tomato and eggplants already is amazing. Look at that. And voila. Maybe one more leaf of basil. Just for decoration and color, right? Make it Italian color. All right. Why do we do that? So when it goes in the oven again, the Parmesan cheese will get a little bit, how is it, crusty, no? Cooked and melted. So at this point it's done, but not to eat. It's just assembled. So if you're gonna make it for next week, you cover it and then you put in the freezer, and you take it in the morning for the evening and you leave it outside. Otherwise you put it in the fridge for the next day, and then, or right away you put it in the oven and let everything melt. I suggest to make it the day before, because if it stays in the fridge, it would consolidate all the ingredients. So I will maybe do it tomorrow. But because we're here for you, we're gonna put it in the oven right now and we're gonna see what happens. So we go back on bake, and let's do it maybe 350, because the eggplants are cooked already. We just have to melt the cheese, right? So put 350, same place right here. And we'll wait for maybe 10-15 minutes. Eggplants Parmigiana, et voila! Oh, inista! Look at that! Hot, 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 hot. Mm-hmm. So before we put in the oven, I said 10 minutes. I lied to you. It's at least half an hour. And then the last 5 minutes, put it on broil to give a little bit of a crust on the top. And let it sit for maybe 10 minutes, okay? Need to settle a little bit. Don't cut it right away. Now this has been out for like 10 minutes. No, maybe 5 minutes. Okay, so now I'm gonna put a little bit and plate it and see what happened. All right, let's see. Voila, look at that. All right, maybe we're gonna garnish a little bit with a little bit of basil on the side. Now, as I did the last time, we have that important existential question about it is good or it is not good. It's an existential question of the moment, of the present moment, because as I said, every moment that we live in our life, it has a taste. Right now, the only taste we can look for is the taste of these eggplants. So we'll try. I just want to notice that, you see, it's still a little bit watery. Okay, so that can be from the tomato. It can be cooked a bit longer. It can also be from the mozzarella cheese because it was fresh, so it contains some water. So once it's half an hour in the oven, it will release water. So it is a little bit watery, but you know what? This is juice. It's very good with a piece of bread. So look at the cheese is melting. Oh my goodness. A glass of wine. God bless you.